we are back.
With the history of Hyrule.
You have the book ahead of you.
Yes.
Samuel. That's a massive
chronology
book.
begins with the creation of the heavens and the earth, immediately followed by the events of Skyward Sword.
Are we going to
Great
get copyright striked by you doing an ebook on this
I might
Let's
be.
Play?
Skyward Sword, underrated game. For those of you that complain about, the wiggle control, or, I have to reset
jeez.
it. You press start, you hit the sync, it's done. You have to do that maybe
It was
every 30,
There he is.
40 minutes, maybe, something like that.
It was built on a flawed system, so
It played so well. I loved it.
I didn't play it, so
I thoroughly enjoyed what they did, especially what they did with the story.
Can I
thought
dig
the story
underwater?
was great. Now,
Nope.
that being said, some of the overworld wasn't as good, but overall, I really enjoyed the game. It didn't feel like a drag, and especially the story and the boss and the set pieces were all super top notch.
Yeah.
So it made up for it, and I really liked the art direction too. They gave Link pants.
What?
they gave
Instead
Link-
of just a tunic and
Yeah, they just did-
tights, I
Yeah,
guess?
instead of tights, they give him
I never thought about it. What is he wearing? Tunic and tights?
A tunic and tights or no pants at all.
Wait.
He's not wearing pants here.
Really?
Yeah, Link's freestyling, man.
He's
He's freestyling it.
He's freeballing.
He's freeballing.
I've done that.
He's kilting
I've
it.
worn a kilt before.
I know, you were in my
multiple
car
times.
one time, and you're just like, don't worry, I got everything tucked in place. I'm like, good, because I don't want to touch my car seats.
You don't want your balls on my seat.
I don't really want it.
Sir, do you need vittles?
He might be.
Oh yeah, Papahl just got lost, just like he said. Now I'm so famished I can't move.
Yep.
Can you give me some
Yep.
vitamins? Hey, little kid.
Yep. Vittles.
Vittles.
This was one of the most memorable things in my childhood because I was like, what the hell are vittles?
I couldn't figure it out either.
The only reason is when I found the pineapple, finally returned back to him, and it just says yes,
Yeah.
or you confirm it. And I was like, wait, I have them? Gave it to him, and then the pineapple came out, and I was like, vittles is a pineapple?
You pulled that out of your picnic basket. The pineapple is so delicious. I'm gonna eat it right now. Bon appetit.
Nom, 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 nom,
Bone
nom,
apple
nom,
tit?
Nom, 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 nom.
This wasn't meant to be a reward, but
He just flips me the bird.
here you go. Here, take this hibiscus.
Oh, hey. Okay, now we can go to Animal Land. Animal City.
I'm gonna eat my pineapple. It's delicious.
He's really nomming down on that
Really
thing.
nomming down on it.
He makes it look super good.
So good. I'm filled with energy now.
Voice acting.
I'm gonna go find my son, Boo Boo.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Thanks for the grub, Link. You're a lifesaver.
How did you know my name?
Everyone knows your name.
Oh, the bridge up
You're with
here.
Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely get the hook
Yeah,
shot.
it's
in
a
this
hook
game.
shot,
It's
yep.
a hook shot.
All right, it has been confirmed.
Yes, for those in the comments going, it was the hook shot all along. Yeah,
Yeah,
know
we
now.
kind of had an idea,
See,
but
we don't look everything up, and yes, I did beat this game, but I beat it a few years ago, guys. So I got in an argument with a friend of mine.
You?
Yeah, and me. Who would have think?
No.
Who would have thought? And we were talking about the Zelda timeline because he's also a big Zelda nerd, like myself.
Nerd.
And I just said, yeah, I mean, the Zelda timeline's bullshit. He's like, no, it's not. It's really in depth. It's like, come on.
Oh
man.
shit! I didn't even look this.
I've played all the Zelda games.
How dark
I really
deep
love
down that
Zelda. Zelda timeline's bullshit. Let's be honest with each other.
Is this just to get out of here?
Because you know they didn't create it to begin with. They had maybe an
There we
idea
go.
for one or two things in the Zelda timeline.
Pretty
but
sure
for
that'll
the rest
reset.
of it, they kind of just made it up as they were going. And I had
back
to
in the original, right?
back in the original,
Like
you know,
2
some
episodes, or
things-
not 2 episodes, like 2 games in, 3 games in.
2-3 games in Ocarina of Time, they're like, okay, this is kind of gonna be the first game, and maybe after they made that, they're like, okay, we're kind of thinking split timelines, but eventually they just kept making more and more adventures because they went with the idea of what they did with the original Link to the Past and Zelda 2. It's just new adventure. It's a new telling of the story. The way that I always try to interpret it, with the Legend of Zelda
You said
story,
interpret
the Zelda story was it was all the same story, just retold by someone else.
That's how I thought it was back then. It was just like, oh, it's the same story, but it's different. It's been changed through the ages.
It's not an exact retelling of the story of that hero.
Yeah.
It's someone's interpretation. That's why things like Gorons and the Rito and other stuff like that.
They kind of look different.
They
but-
kind of look different, or the art style's a little changed, or certain characters don't appear. It's not that those characters don't exist in that world. It's just they didn't come up in the story.
Yeah, that's
So-
how I thought it was back in the day too.
And I think
Before I heard about the dual timeline stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's still kind of that in some ways, and that's how they get around the idea of, well, why aren't the Rito in this game? I thought the Rito were around because of
love
Wind Waker, because of the bird-like people that appear in Wind Waker. But now they appear in the newest Zelda, which is Breath of the Wild. And
What are the Ritos? Are the red bird
the
things?
Rito are supposed to be the evolved form of the Zora. They're supposed to be in Wind.
What?
Yeah,
Aren't the Zora the
They're fish
water
people.
So how do you get bird people out of it?
So basically,
I don't think evolution works that way.
so the way the timeline works so far, as it's been kind of established when they did this book in 2011, was the very first game, which sets up all the lore, is Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword came out for the Wii. That is considered the beginning of all of it. It starts off with not the very first incarnation of the hero, but the very first incarnation of Zelda.
We've talked about this, yeah. So the very first incarnation is not in a game, right? Or as we know it?
No, it's not.
Oh, I don't even have a key.
Basically, that story starts off with, long time ago, there was a evil demon king called Demise, and he brought the world almost asunder. So then the three goddesses, Din, Nehru, and
I thought you said the three goddesses did Nehru.
no,
I was like, oh.
God, why am I forgetting the last one? Din, Nehru, and Jin?
Esmeralda.
Now let me find. I feel really bad for forgetting who it is.
You
but
get the encyclopedia
I do have the
Linkanica
encyclopedia. I
in
should
front of
know
you.
it though. Like Nehru's fire.
Little early, little overzealous.
I'm looking
There we
it
go.
up. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while.
You still know way more than me about it. I don't know.
There's so much lore that, you know, it just kind of it all gets kind of lost after a time.
Yeah.
I think it's Din, Nehru, and Jin.
Din, Nehru, and Jin. Three names right there.
Yeah, they're the three goddesses that created the heavens and the earth. Like, they created Hyrule.
Okay.
Basically, those three goddesses created Hyrule. You see them in the beginning of the Ocarina of Time. They're the three colors, the three magic spells you get. The green,
Oh, that's
red,
right. The
and
green
blue.
and blue. Yeah.
The green, red, and the blue. You get those three, and they are kind of like the different spirits. I think Din is fire. So Din, you know, caused the lands to be created. Nehru
Volcanoes to erupt and stuff.
Did the ocean, and I believe Jin is the wind one, which, you know, gave breath to the world and stuff.
They woke the wind.
They woke the wind or something like that. Something of that kind of nature. But
boy.
let's see. It's probably written in here. Chronicles of Information.
Okay, just for all the information about the origins of the universe or whatever.
Well, yeah, creation of the land and sky. I'm just trying to figure out.
Is it a world or is it a universe? It's all on one planet, right? With
it's
Hyrule.
all, I believe, on one planet. They haven't really been specific about that.
God dang it.
Hyrule's a land, but there's also different lands
fuck,
in Zelda, so it's all in one world.
Come on, bud. Fly
Because,
over
like,
here.
people still don't know what Clocktown is.
What do you mean?
So, I'll go. Basically, three goddesses create the world, right? Then you have Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword is the first telling of, I think, the second version of the hero. It hasn't really been super established. There's a little comic.
Oh no!
That happens. I think the comic's actually even in here. So the very, like, basically, Demise is trying to destroy the
I didn't do
world.
anything. Yeah.
Hylia is a goddess, but not like a super goddess.
Yeah.
She's not like Din, Nehru, and Jin, but she's a lesser god.
Okay.
She's a lesser god.
Like a deity?
Yeah, she's a deity. So she comes down, she tries to help save the people of this land, and a young boy who would eventually become the spirit of the hero gives his life to protect and save the world from demise, along with the goddess Hylia. The goddess Hylia eventually becomes reincarnated as Zelda. I know I'm flubbing some of this up, guys, but she chooses to.
You're doing most of it from memory. So.
She chooses to be a human, so she ends up becoming Zelda as a reincarnation. So Zelda is continually the reincarnation of the goddess Hylia.
Okay.
And through that game, you know, the hero will always come when there is a catastrophe. He'll always be reborn.
Yeah, he will be. He will show up when he's needed.
He becomes Last Airbender. They're all different versions of Link, but they're all still reincarnated. So like they have different personalities, they have different spirits, but they share kind of one whole spirit.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, like a joint consciousness of a
They're
sort, but
basically
not really.
like a joint consciousness, like
Destiny.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're the same. They're all the same being, but they all have different wants, different needs, but they share similarities. Like they're all the same spirit, but different versions of them all still exist.
Oh,
That's why
fuck, man.
in Twilight Princess you meet the spirit of the hero from Majora's Mask, who died never being able to pass on his secrets to someone else.
Really?
Yeah. So that big Stalfos skeletal like Hylian
Oh, was that
warrior-
him?
Yeah, that's the Link from Ocarina of Time, but as a boy.
I feel
from
like
Majora's
I've.
Mask.
Oh, okay, bye, Key. I feel like I feel like I've heard that before.
Probably. It gets repeated a lot.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's like a did you know type fact type deal.
But yeah, and then Hylia, I think, was in charge by the gods to watch over the Triforce, and eventually you fight Demise at the end of Skyward Sword, and then Demise says, I will hate you forever. And
I
my
would
spirit-
hate you
My
forever.
spirit will haunt you forever, and it becomes this really antagonistic emo band called Ganondorf.
The glint of the tile will be your
And
guide.
he goes on an entire rant for 4 minutes in some kind of song form. But yeah, Demise, the Demon King,
so
once you defeat him,
Ganondorf is part of
Demise.
Demise.
He's
is
Demise's spirit.
spirit.
So when Demise is killed, his spirit gets reincarnated into Ganondorf. And just like Zelda and Link, those three people are continually reincarnated.
Okay.
And same with all of them are kind of part of the same spirit, and they keep getting reincarnated, like Aang from Avatar.
He's chasing me.
But, they all have different motives. They're all still different people. They're not the same person. They'll remember their past lives in the same way, but,
shit.
if they were going into a mindscape like Aang would do occasionally, you would get to meet your past self.
He'd be able to go into the Wakanda afterlife
he'd
or
go in the
whatever.
Wakanda afterlife and
Talk
kind of
to
figure
him.
all that stuff out.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Does
so-
that ever happen, or is that just kind of like an assumed ability type thing?
I think it's kind of assumed because of what happens in Twilight Princess, because you go into a dreamscape when you're talking to like that older Link. You don't know it's
the
him.
Stalfos Link or whatever.
Yeah, it was confirmed by Eiji Onuma, and it was confirmed by just all the dialogue he has in it. Eiji Onuma's like the lead creative on these games. So there's a certain sequence I think you need to.
I think it's
Nope.
There's one. Oh, great. Thanks, bud.
Nope. So
here.
1, 2.
Nope.
No.
We'll
One.
do here, then we'll go around. It has to be this one, right?
Has to be, right?
What the fuck? Oh, come on.
Oh,
no, I was on land.
You can't fall.
I
think.
need the.
I don't think you can touch the water.
I think I have to swim
No,
because I
think,
can't reach them all by land.
I think you can if you do the dash jump.
That's gonna be hard, bud.
Yeah. So I think you can't touch the water.
I don't think I can. I don't think I can make that range. Yeah. I'm. Oh. Okay. I don't think that's supposed to be how I do it. Do you think it's gonna be the next? This. It can't be that next one, right?
It is. Okay.
Did we just break the fucking game?
I don't know.
I don't think it was. I didn't think we were supposed to get the flippers first.
I think we were too.
I'm not gonna go down there in case I break something.
Yeah.
And it's like,
What's this
oh,
gonna
you
be?
fall into an area and you need the slippers.
And
The flippers.
You need the slipper flippers.
You need the slip flips.
But so yeah, Skyward Sword's the first game that takes place.
Well,
Kinda
maybe I
sets
do
up-
have to. Because
Sets
I
up
can't
the
do anything
lore.
here. Howie.
Kind of sets up the lore of everything, how it's supposed to be. And then it kind of tells off into the Minish Cap, and then goes into Four Swords Adventures. Each one is a different Link. Tells more of the tale, and then we eventually get to Ocarina of Time, where the timeline eventually splits.
Yeah,
So-
for when he succeeds and when he doesn't succeed
When he
or something like that.
succeeds,
Ow, fucker.
okay, so the way it works is when you beat Ocarina of Time, 2 timelines get created because of it. Because you go into the Temple of Time and you spend
Flippers?
7 years in hibernation
Yeah.
and just waiting to fight Ganondorf, and eventually you succeed and you beat him. That's one timeline. That timeline is going to keep on going. But Zelda feels really bad that you had to sacrifice your entire childhood to save Hyrule when it is her, she feels like she should have been the one to stop Ganon to begin with. She always feels responsible in that respect.
Oh,
So she sends you back. And when she sends you back in time 7 years ago,
She fucks up the entire Zelda timeline because she feels bad?
pretty much.
Come on, Zelda.
In a way, the timeline also got created differently. No one really guessed that this was even possible, which is the one where there's 2 timelines. One where Link succeeds against killing Ganon, and then the other where he fails.
This isn't the
against
way I
killing
wanna go.
Ganon. no one would really hypothesize that because no one thought that was a possibility.
It's not a thing.
And it was a lot of contention when it first came up. You're like, that's silly. I think most people are kind of to the point now where they're like, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay. There's a timeline where you don't win, which is the fallen timeline, which makes sense. And the other, so you have the childhood timeline, which is the one where Zelda sends you back into the past. That game lineage follows with Majora's Mask. Because in the beginning of Majora's Mask, you're trying to find Navi. Because when you finish Ocarina of Time, she leaves you.
Oh, come on, man.
But she doesn't even say a word. After bugging you for the entire game to listen to her, she just flies the fuck off. Just doesn't even care. She just leaves.
What a dummy. Why would she do that?
Without even saying goodbye.
What?
Yeah, she just floats away. She just flies away and you're like,
what a jerk.
Okay, cool. I guess I'll see you later.
What a dirty jerk face.
Because only spirits of the forest get to have fairies. And I think she was sent there to watch you from the Deku Tree. So the point of Majora's Mask, that whole adventure starts because you're
can't
trying
do anything
to,
here.
Yeah. Is you're trying to you're trying to find Navi. Like that's the whole point of that. Why you'd want to find that annoying fairy? Who knows?
Wouldn't you also try and be stopping the apocalypse? Like,
well, that's not how it happens. So you're looking for Navi, and you just start going through the Lost Woods.
Oh boy.
Because you're going through the Lost Woods, hoping that you can try and find where your fairy went. Because that makes sense. Like that's where the fairies go.
Yeah.
But in that meantime, you run into Skull Kid, who has stolen the Majora's Mask from the Happy Salesman.
That's
Magic
right.
Salesman. And so he gets possessed by the spirit of Majora. And what happens is you end up falling into like an Alice in Wonderland portal. And no one really knows did you go into an alternate dimension?
Oh shit.
What really happens? Why are you here? Like, is this part of Hyrule? Is Termina another land in Hyrule? But everyone is kind of similar, so I think...
Is that what Clocktown is or whatever? Or is that separate?
And it uses all the same NPCs now.
Oh shit.
Part of the reason for that is because they had to make that game in a year.
Okay.
So they had to make that game, a new Zelda game, in a year because Eiji Onuma and the rest of Shigeru Miyamoto thought that Ocarina of Time was perfect. There was really nothing else they could do to improve on those dungeons.
It really is a great game.
Because they wanted to have some kind of iterative version of Ocarina of Time. And they're like, that doesn't really make sense. But Onuma wanted to do something really weird and quirky, and they said, well, if you can do it in a year, go for it. So that's why that game reuses a lot of assets from that game. So I think the prevailing fan theory and prevailing theory is that it's an alternate dimension.
Really?
Because you fall through a portal and eventually somehow you find your way back.
Okay.
Man, I'm very blacked up.
I think I'm getting it. I think I'm understanding.
Okay.
Flippers!
So,
Press
because
B to dive underwater and A to swim quickly.
So that is called the childhood timeline. So you do Majora's Mask, which eventually leads to Twilight Princess. If you look at Twilight Princess, there's a lot of similar things with like Majora's Mask. Like a lot of the iconography and like design stuff appears in that as well. If you look at Midna, part of her face kind of looks like Majora's Mask. So it's believed that from the Shadow, like the Shadow universe, or like
what the hell?
Because there's a light and there's a dark. We know there's a light and a dark world. So it's assumed that the dark world is the one that created the Majora's Mask. It was crafted by those people. Because we learn about I forget what they're called. They're called like the Shadow Beings. They appear at the beginning of Twilight Princess, and they describe them there.
Really?
Yes. So let's
Shadow Beings.
see.
I don't know if I've heard about that.
So at the beginning of
I should probably get those other treasure
probably
chests. I'm gonna go for the boss though, because I can always just get past.
Yeah. So
Jump.
the beginning of in the childhood timeline, since you get sent back, you're able to go and warn Princess Zelda that Ganon's going to try and steal the Triforce. So what ends up happening is the sages know this, so they put Ganon on trial. And at the beginning of Twilight Princess,
for a crime he did not commit.
he was already planning to. Like,
were they gonna time cop him or whatever it was?
not time
Or
cop.
a Minority Report?
What do they call it? Not malicious intent, but like intent that like you were going to commit the crime.
Intent to perform conspiracy of treason or something like that?
Yeah, conspiracy of treason, something along those lines. So they know, so they put him on trial, and eventually they find him guilty, and they
What
try.
the hell?
They try and
that's
execute
what I
Ganon.
did. Yeah.
Ganondorf. They try and execute him, but they fail. And he ends up
How
killing
do you
one of the sages.
fail?
Well, they messed up because as soon as he was about to be executed,
Oh, that's right.
Demise's power kind of came back to him, and he got the Triforce of Power back.
You get the Tripow?
He got the Triforce of Power back, so they couldn't kill him. So what ends up happening is they seal him in the Dark Dimension. I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Oh, I see how
In the
I gotta
Twilight
do it
Realm.
now that I have the flippers.
Yeah, they seal him in the Twilight Realm, which is kind of like the flip side, which is another alternate universe of... I guess it wouldn't be an alternate universe. It's the flip side to this universe, to the Zelda universe. It's the dark versus the light. We're in the light world versus the dark world.
So like, kind of like Link's,
Yeah,
Link
exactly.
to the Past?
Same thing, same concept. I believe that's all considered the same realm.
Okay. Where I turn into a cute little bun?
Yeah, that's always been my interpretation. Like that's all that stuff is just artistically different interpretations of what it looks like.
Let us
But
know in the comments.
The Twilight Realm and the Dark World, they could be considered two different places. Maybe they are. But the Dark World does reappear in Link Between Worlds. God, so many of the games start with Legend of Zelda, Link something.
Yeah,
so you guys,
I can't imagine why.
You guys are gonna have to give me some leeway when I say something if I flub it up. And just know by the other stuff that I'm saying of what my intention is.
No, you're not allowed.
So
You can't make a mistake. You're on the internet.
Yeah, they try and steal him into the Twilight Realm because long ago the people of the world were filled with piety. Piety. And the land knew many years of peace. Before long, however, the conflict began to arise between the Sacred Realm and the realms of Hyrule. This is something that you see at the beginning of Link to the Past, where they talk about the rise of people trying to fight for the Triforce. People began to appear who were proficient with magic, and they attempted to control the Sacred Realm with their power.
Okay.
Because we know that the Sacred Realm is where the Triforce remain, and I think this is where it gets confusing. And like I'd have to dive deep again into Zelda lore to kind of really figure out some of that stuff. Because we know there's the Sacred Realm, and in Link to the Past, I assume that the Sacred Realm was corrupted into the Dark World by Ganon.
But it doesn't sound like it is.
But now I'm confused on whether that is or not, because Zelda timeline is just crazy and all over the place.
I gotta go back up to the top. Dang it.
And, so the gods dispatched the light spirits who sealed the usurper's magic into the fused shadows. They would then banish these offenders to the Twilight Realm using the Mirror of Twilight so that they would never be able to return to the Light World. Those who lived in the Twilight came to be known as the Tweedly, which is where Midna's from. So
where the fuck is the key?
So
sorry.
No, that's fine. I think there's multiple worlds and plane. There's multiple planes of existence, kind of like in D&D.
Yeah.
So like we have the Light Realm, which is considered this realm, right?
Yeah.
I believe, which is just a normal. This is where we live. This is where we operate.
Am I missing something on where the key might be?
You have the boss key.
Yeah, but I can't get to the boss key room. I need to unlock this door to get to those stairs that I assume goes right here.
For a key? Oh, you know what you need to do? Remember that key that fell in like that
Yeah,
gap?
how do we get to it though?
It should be in the water somewhere.
I went here and it brings us up right here.
Right.
Oh, you think like a current brought it somewhere in this level?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I'll look underwater.
Look in the water.
Yeah.
Keep going there.
Can I dive here? Go underwater, maybe?
I think you're gonna be able to do that for one of them, but not right here.
Come on, man.
Get rid of those guys. So yeah, Child Timeline takes place in the Twilight Realm and all that stuff, and you defeat Ganon. He comes back, and you beat him for good that time, and eventually that leads to Four Swords Adventures.
I want to beat him
for
for
that whole timeline
bad.
is one thing.
Yeah.
But there's another timeline. So when Ganondorf is sealed, and that's the one where Zelda sends you back, but that timeline keeps on going at the end of Ocarina of Time. So there's no Link in that timeline anymore. He's just been removed. So the spirit of the hero is kind of in hibernation.
Yeah.
So when Ganon eventually does break free of the seal that placed him in that realm by the 6 sages, there's no Link to stop him this time.
And
so
that's,
he wins.
Yeah, that's the bad one.
Yeah, and the king, in a way to try and preserve what was left, instead of letting Ganon just murder and destroy everything, he they pray to the gods, and the gods end up doing a Noah's Ark, and they sing.
Yeah, they flood everything,
They
right?
flood the world.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's how that we get, now we're rounding back to, that's why you don't see Zoras in that game, really. So the Zoras were like...
Wouldn't you, though? Everything's water.
But
Maybe they haven't evolved yet?
You never go underwater, though. So some Zoras that were on land, like the merchants and whatnot,
Yeah,
eventually
how do I get up
they
there?
evolved to have wings.
Oh.
So they evolve from fish into birds, kind of like, you know, how evolution, like fish walked on land and stuff, all that.
I don't really
Magic,
know.
man.
Yeah. Magic Man.
Magic Man came and just made them into bird people.
I did open up this rock as a keyhole. Should come back with a key. I know.
That was the prevailing theory. So the Rito are the evolved form of the Zoras, because, I mean, thousands of years, but there's magic, so I guess why not?
Oh, you know what? I think I know where it is. I am a dum-dum. Back at the beginning.
Yeah, when the thing falls in the water.
But no. Back in the very beginning.
To get there.
Yeah, I will. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Dude, leave me alone. Just for a second. Just for a hot second.
So eventually, in that timeline, Ganondorf, you know, world's flooded. That's when you get Wind Waker, which is followed by Phantom Hourglass. And Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass, same Link. But then eventually, a couple of hundred years pass, and you get Spirit Tracks. But
Spirit? What the hell is Spirit Tracks?
It's another DS game.
What?
Spirit Tracks is pretty good.
I've never heard of that one.
It came out a while ago. There's only a few Zelda games I haven't played.
Oh, God.
But the timeline that we are currently in is the one where the hero is defeated. So that's the one where you lose, because it's the darkest timeline.
And this is the same timeline as that right now, this game?
This is the darkest timeline.
Oh, because that's the one that puts us on a boat, right?
Yes. So the way we get to this one is, we're going to start with Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time.
This is where I haven't gone over here.
You lose to Ganon. Link dies.
Yeah.
And so Zelda and them all kind of fail. The world kind of...
Well, that didn't do anything like I thought it would.
Yeah. The world kind of falls into semi-chaos because the Imprisoning War happens, which is what is mentioned at the beginning of Link.
With the Seven Sages or whatever?
Yes. That's what happens at the beginning of the Link to the Past.
What the fuck?
They talk about the Imprisoning War. It was all in an effort to stop Ganon. Because at the end of Ocarina of Time, Ganondorf turns into Ganon. And he remains in that form. That becomes his true form.
Okay, so wait. Ganondorf is the pig version?
Ganon
is the, like, man version?
Okay, so Demise was once a demon king, right?
Yeah.
This demon lord. He gets defeated by the second hero of Hyrule.
Yeah.
So the second version of Link or whatever.
Yeah.
Because of that, he says, my spirit, he casts a curse and says, I will forever try to destroy you. You will never be free from me, yada, yada, yada. Eventually, he is reborn into Ganondorf, a child of the desert people tribe. Yeah. So, which only one male is born every 100 years in that tribe. Mm-hmm. And, he's held as kind of a king. He automatically makes that. And because he's part demon king, like he's already kind of just from the very let-go, like he's gonna have kind of the same motivations that the demon king had, so he wants to take over Hyrule. He doesn't know that he's part of Demise.
He doesn't know that he's predestined.
Yeah, he doesn't know that
he wasn't created by the midichlorians for the Force to equal out Link's power of the hero.
Just like Aang the Avatar always has this compulsion to kind of live like one as well, like always trying to see the best in people, always trying to bring people together. That same kind of core being is always going to be present for Ganon. And so, that kind of all takes place, and eventually Ganondorf becomes Ganon when he gets the Triforce of Power. When he gets the Triforce of Power, in my mind, it kind of unlocks a little bit of his demon power more so, because he was already really good with magic, but it kind of brings him closer to that, like, godhood status.
Have I gone to the stairs here? I don't think I've gone to the stairs here. That might be it.
Go under the stairs. I think that's where the key is going to be. I thought that's where you were going, honestly, at first. And the key should be in one...
Yeah, I haven't been in here, I don't think. Yeah. Okay, that's what it is. This is going to take another...
Take another episode.
Cool, because we've gone super long on this one. We will see you guys later with more Legend of Zelda lore.
Yeah.
Beep, bop, boop.
Hope you guys aren't getting tired of it, but it's giving me something to talk about.
No, it's a good. It's kind of a refresher for. Well, it's a lesson for me. It might be a refresher for other people.
Right.
And I think it'd be good to talk about in the comments to see what everyone's theories are.
We're not talking about the game.
Yes, indeed. Save. Nope, that's not a save. Save.